Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. One second. I feel like I should start off this review with what I like to call the compliment sandwich. Say something good, say something bad, try to end off with something good. Because unfortunately, there's a lot of bad in this episode. Something good, something good. I'm gonna be honest. When somebody suggested me watching this show, at the time I was just watching GH and I was so used to GH and the formula and everything like that that I was like, there's no way I could sit there and get into a new set of characters and casts, and I just felt like it just wasn't gonna work. Not only did it work, but in a lot of cases, this show on many occasions have surpassed GH. I don't know, GH is just sleeping or something or just getting too cocky. I have no idea, but Days was killing it. Now I know with every soap opera, there's a lot of highs and lows towards each soap opera. So you know, it's while I'm sitting there practically tearing a soap opera apart. Every show goes through its highs and lows. In all reality, I do generally like the show. I love the show. I love the characters. Um, GH is I was sitting there and say it's my heart because I've been watching that show the longest. But Days actually is a really good soap opera. Um, it's a really good soap opera. Well, I didn't want to sit there and be too negative in this review, but this episode, besides the ending, this episode, I don't know what it is about this episode. It just felt very boring. Like, very boring, very predictable. I mean, I know all soap operas are very predictable. But, there's a point where EJ and Nicole are talking, and Nicole finds out that EJ slept with Bella. And when Sammy comes in, she's about to sit there and just tell, you know, mostly to spite Sammy. But they get into this, I wouldn't sit there and say three-way argument, because it's just pretty much just them throwing dirt in each other's faces about how they all cheated at one point in time. AJ cheated, Sammy cheated, Nicole cheated. They're just really just going back and forth with the cheating part. And you're kind of sad thing, you're just like, it's amazing that all three of you can sit there and start pointing fingers and, you know, dumping on each other. And I'm like, y'all are all in the same damn boat. Like, y'all all in the same damn boat. Like, seriously. And it's amazing because they were so much on a high moral ground in their stance and their anger that they can even sit there and say, you know what, I'm sitting there, calling this person out for cheating, and I did the exact same thing. You would think that your brain would be like, you know what, let's just kind of calm down on that. They did it for a little bit. Then EJ and Nicole go in the bar, and all they do at this point is pretty much lie to each other. You know, EJ still wants to be with Sammy. I know he wants to be with Bella, but I'm gonna be completely honest. As much as I like Bella, I feel like Bella is a consolation prize. Okay, and that sucks because nobody wants to be somebody's consolation prize. But EJ's the type of person that he can be alone, and while we'll sit there and say there's definitely a legitimate friendship there, maybe a little bit of attraction. I just feel like if Sammy knew and she wasn't so, I don't know. I just feel like he would go right back to Sammy. The minute that Sammy finds out and she wants to go back to EJ, and she's not going to be, she's going to be relentless. We all know who's going to win between Sammy and Bella. And it sucks because, at the end of the day, you know, it just comes across as EJ is using Bella. And don't get me wrong, it's mutual. Bella is using EJ to get over Sean, to stick it to Sean. So it's not like, oh, poor Bella. Like, no. She's doing the exact same thing. She knows exactly what she's getting into. Let's not sit there and act like this is anything else. Um, and, same thing with Nicole. Nicole wants to be with Eric, forcing herself to sit there and stay committed to Rafe. But at the end of the day, throughout the episode, she is constantly thinking about Eric and wondering what Eric was going to say, and imagining Eric wanted to sit there and be back together with her. So they're both lying to each other. They literally just sat there drinking, lying to each other. Then EJ finished the drink and left. And I'm just like, bro, did you just stick her with the tab? I mean, I do believe in, 50-50 and whatever, or the fact that, what, you're rich. Why are you just sticking her with the bill? It's sort of the same dick move that he did when he ordered a drink and he was with Rafe and I can't remember who else. And he got the drink and he finished it up and he just walked away. And Rafe was like, "Yo, did you just know that he just like practically just skipped out on his bill? On his drink? Like really? Like that's a dick move, especially considering the fact that he could have bought all of them rounds for the whole night, and it just would have been like nothing for him. So the fact that he finished his drink and he walks off, and it's not like Nicole doesn't make money, but I'm like, bro, really? You couldn't like. Uh, I'm gonna assume that he actually paid for the drinks. I can't. I know he. I can't imagine him actually having a woman pay for him. I don't see it. It's just not in him. He's about control and things of that nature. So I just don't see that happen. Two idiots continue to argue and fight about Chanel. So there's really nothing about that. Honestly, to tell you the truth, they both just sound really annoying, and I was just pretty much kind of counting the minutes until they were done. So yeah. Now after Will finished telling um, Chad about Lucas falling off the wagon, he heads to the church. Chad does his crying stuff with Miss Nabby, and so we had to sit there and go through that again. And don't get me wrong, it's not like I don't have a heart, and he is grieving, so I do get it. You know, I'm just, yeah. I don't want to sit there and say, well, I mean, I am over it, but at the same time, I understand it. It's just like, oh, okay, another crying scene. Now after that, Brave calls and tells Chad that they got surveillance footage showing that during the time of the murder, Clyde was at the docks, so he couldn't be at the docks and be killing Abby at the same time. Like there was timestamp, so it just was no way. And of course, at that point, Chad goes back to his original, theory about Lucas killing Abby. After finding out there's a cut on his hand, he doesn't remember. So he has back towards the church. Now Lucas and Sammy are pretty much about to get married. There's a point where Eric is not there marrying them, and is thinking about Nicole and Ray up until the point where he freezes up on what he's supposed to be doing as far as getting them married and I don't know doing his whatever that priests do when they marry two people. Anyway, he shakes it off, and they're just about to sit there and get married. Then Chad comes in there, and Chad practically starts strangling EJ I mean, Lucas and everyone's that they're trying to break them up apart. And then Chad blurts out, "Hey, it was Lucas that killed Abby because Abby found out that Lucas, that he kidnapped you, says to Sammy." Now at that point, everyone's just like, you see the eyes just bulging out, just like, and I'm kind of just like throughout the whole episode, I'm just like, so when that happened, I was like, oh man, yeah, now we're gonna get to something. Of course, that happened towards the end, so I'll be looking. I actually tell you the truth, I'll be actually looking forward to the next episode now. The whole time that Eric was with Marlena talking about Rafe Nicole being married, and Eric was like, "Oh, I just want the best for her, and I just wanted to be happy." And of course, he went to his usual speech of, "I blame myself for walking out," and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, "Nah, bro, you did the right thing. You got out of a toxic relationship. Listen, when one person cheats on someone else." And then lied about it, and it's just going to continue to lie, and you were just never going to be the wiser. Um, yeah, yeah, I would sit there and say that's definitely pretty toxic. I mean, there's different form of toxic relationships, and that's definitely one of them. Now, Eric is not there trying to come over. She says, "Oh, I didn't give her a chance. We didn't sit there and go through therapy." I was like, listen, all the therapy and everything in the world y'all can do, but at the end of the day, if you don't trust her, it doesn't matter. Now, of course, the fans want them back together. I don't really care what she did. I just want them back together. And it's just like, okay, cool. I mean, listen, that's cool if y'all want to sit there and just defy logic and everything else like that. And, you want them together, and that's fine. It is what it is. I just can't sit there and think like that. That's just not how, um, I just can't do it. For a hot minute, I almost actually did wonder why did they even bother to have Rafe in this episode. I mean, when Nicole was sitting there daydreaming about Eric, and Rafe came in there, and Rafe was like, "Oh, you look like you were, a million miles away or whatever," hugging and everything like that. Nicole just had that, that awkward laugh where it's like she's laughing, but she's like thinking of something else and feeling guilty about it. I feel like that's probably the only reason why they actually had Rafe come in today, because I didn't really understand it. I didn't see a point. I really didn't. The sad thing is that when Kate saw Lucas, she expressed again, you need to sit there and tell Sammy what you did. You don't want to go into this marriage with a secret like that because you're not good at lying. You have a very, very, very bad poker face. But Lucas is like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. I'll just suck it up or whatever. Now it came out into the light of day, and I'm like, it couldn't have happened to a nicer fella like you. You're gonna sit there and kidnap her, and then pin it on EJ, and then just think that you're just gonna ride off into the sunset with Sammy like everything's all good in her. He must have lost his damn mind. So I'm personally glad that it came out for a lot of reasons, especially because Ali was going so hard on AJ. No, I think that he did it. I think that he did it. That Jerry said he did it. And now her dumbass is going to be standing there looking like, oh, I thought that AJ did it. I really did. I get that she doesn't like AJ, and to be honest, I'm not even mad at her reasons. But when she kept arguing with John, no, I think her dad did it. That Jerry said he did it. And, just because he was acquitted doesn't mean he didn't do it. And now her dumbass actually learns the truth. So, yeah. Anyway, I feel like that's pretty much about it. So, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Be safe. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next video.